So, we're back.
Again, I feel like we're always
principally because you're back.
gone and then back. Yes,
You've been to
I've been
fucking
in
Morocco, haven't you? Yeah. Tell everyone what happened on the way home.
Oh Christ! Do I have to?
Yes.
So on the day before we was flying, I was feeling rather unwell. You know, the rumbles in your tummy and you're thinking all your chants and your farts, and you know you're playing Russian roulette every time. And I thought, this ain't right. I'm not feeling 100% here, and I'm flying home tomorrow, and it's an hour in the car to the airport. It's then 4 hours on the plane, and then it's 2 hours train on the other side. So I thought, fuck me, that's 7 hours worth of travel. 7 hours door to door. That's killer.
It's a long time to be clenching your buttocks, isn't it?
And I was like, I think I've got the shit. So I wake up the next day, I'm like, yeah, confirmed shit. Oh my God, what the fuck is going to happen here? My darling of a girlfriend was like, look, we bring a pharmacy everywhere we go. We've got Imodium. So I pop a couple of Imodium, and I'm like, right, it's rain. And we've got other things. We've got Buscopan for tummy cramps. We've got something else for sickness. I just took a concoction of pills, and I felt fucking marvellous. I was like, I got home safely without shitting myself. What a result. Then, the next 3 days, oh my God. Constipation, like you would not believe. 4 days even. Sickness, tummy cramps. Oh my. Have you ever been constipated, John?
No, not really. Not. I mean, when I was a kid, maybe, but not that I can remember particularly. Certainly not like you're describing. It was fucking hilarious on my end, to be honest.
Mate, it's worse than diarrhea. If you're sat at home, I'd rather have diarrhea than constipation, because you get these phantom shits where it's like, oh, it's time to go. You sit down and it's just pain. It's just pain. It's just a phantom shit. Nothing comes out. And that went on for 4 days until we had movement.
Lots of movement.
Lots of movement. I don't know if anyone has ever seen those charts where you're meant to identify your stool, which then tells you.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah,
or more this, more that. Yeah, I painted
or less
the fucking
Imodium.
Rainbow. Yeah, I completed that chart in a day. I had everything. It was horrific.
I remember you had 4 shits in 10 minutes, didn't you? Before our call, because you were a bit late.
I had 4 shits in 10 minutes. One of them was solid, like an absolute lock. It was like a lumberjack had managed to squirrel a tree up my arsehole. And then I was like, right, we're done. I'll go sit down, talk to John. Nope, go back. It was the painters. Oh, it was interesting.
This reminds me of, I'm going back, fucking hell, best part of 30 years now, when my old boss was telling me about one of his mates who didn't shit for 4 months and eventually had to go into hospital to have it surgically removed. Now, you imagine if you didn't shit for 4 months, you'd probably spend the first month hoping you could shit and the next 3 months fucking praying you didn't, you know? And then there was that guy, probably pre-COVID now. He was arrested by the police for carrying drugs, and they were in his stomach. And they kept him in custody for something. You can Google it, like the longest time without a shit or something. And this guy, they kept renewing his remand. The judge did, and he didn't shit for something phenomenal, like 40 days. And then the judge said, "You have to let him go. We just can't keep him here. Were you waiting for him to shit? It's a violation of his fucking rights." So they let him go, and I bet he had the best shit ever when he got home. Imagine that, not shitting for 40 days. Well, that was a ridiculous amount of time. I mean, the guy deserves a fucking medal for that. I mean, he's a god. If he can hold his shit in for that long, it's like, if I shit, I'm going to jail. Okay, I'm just not going to shit. And that is stoicism 101, isn't it? That is fucking decide what needs to be done and then do it. Speaking of which, you got that video yesterday about me walking down my lane. Do you want to hear the story? It's just pertinent to everything we're talking about. Well, my lane, it's about 262 yards, and I know that because the guy told me yesterday on the phone. And it's a fucking... you've seen the video. It's all broken up. And it's been like it for at least 10 years, 15 years since we moved down to the bottom of the road. Although we walk the dogs every day, the road is almost identical, except it's a mile and a half. But it's the same kind of standard of surface. It's fucked. It's just a track. And they've had guys up there, they've had a team of 3 blokes up there with 3 different machines. And they basically scraped the surface clean and widened it slightly. I don't think they're resurfacing. Now, I put in a complaint about this road 3 years ago now, 3 years in November. And the cunts, I logged in yesterday to the portal and the local council. The cunts just closed my query, my complaint. Didn't get back to me or anything. Well, that fucking rubbed me up the wrong way for a start. So I got the name of the guy I need to speak to from the guys doing the road, a guy called Michael Tobin. He's a nice bloke, he's an engineer, but, his hands are tied. He's given a budget and told how he's allowed to spend it, and that's what he has to do. So I said to him, well, why can't you come and fix that road? I said, it would be, as I said on the video, it would be unreasonable for me to ask you to resurface it. It's not what I want. I want you to come and scrape the fucking grass off the centre of the verge, of the road, and then just fill in the big potholes. Bearing in mind, it is a public road. So if I'm injured, my bike's damaged or my car's damaged, the council's liable. And if they know about it before that, in advance, it's negligence, right? So I rang him up and he says, well, your road is what's called a tertiary road, as in 3rd degree, and we're not allowed to fix those. But I says, well, but it's no different from the road that you're already fixing. He says, I don't know anything about that. And he was looking on the map and he's going, well, yeah, this is bizarre, I know it is. I said, look, Michael, I'm not having to go at you, mate, because it's not, this is obviously a cocker, but, what's going to happen? Now, he says, well, there's a scheme. I've written it down here. It's community involvement scheme, where people who want things doing can pay towards it and the council pays the rest. He says it's maximum of 10%. Juggling the numbers, he says the road is 262 yards long and he says it's about 30k. So you and anyone else who's got an interest, it'd be $3,000. And I laughed, and I don't mind paying it, to be honest. But I laughed. He says, well, I can tell you're not impressed. He says, well, I already do contribute. I pay my taxes. I says, it makes me laugh how the council have got money to fix a road that no one cares about. Because this other road, this track, no one needs to use it except the farmers. And they've got big tractors with 20 fucking foot wheels on. They fucking drag ploughs through muddy fields. They don't need that road fixing. And there's one dwelling up there, right at the other end, 1.5 miles in, and they've got a 200-yard road, which has just been resurfaced 3 years ago, to get to the other road. So no one needs this track fixing. All right. I said, well, what, you're fixing this track that no one cares about, that you won't come and fix this road to my house, which there's no alternative, there's no other way to the house. And like I say, it could damage the car, could damage my bike, could cause personal injury. And we have no choice but to use it. And the postman's complained about it. The oil delivery people complain about it. I had one guy refuse to deliver up my road, so I had to bring the car down. Right? And we have to drag the bins down there every fortnight. So what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to go to that track today and then do another video and say, this road is qualitatively the same as mine. Why are you fixing this one and not mine? I mean, no one gives a shit about this one. And then I'm going to put together a media page. And then I'm going to submit another complaint to the council with all the videos, all the screenshots, and basically say, you got 14 days to reply to me with the various questions I want answering, including them confirming they will accept liability for injury and damage. And saying, if that's not done, I'm just going to go to the TV, the newspapers, because this is the kind of local council bungling they will fucking lap up at the time when everyone's going about the cost of living and council's wasting their money. They're going to love it. Be interesting to see what happens. Now, here's the thing, it will cost me nothing. There's no downside to me whatsoever. It'll cost me a couple of hours to put the page together and a quick trip up the road, right? And it'll be great for business, because it's great fodder, marketing fodder. And the icing on the cake is it demonstrates something. And that is, if you want shit doing, do it. Do it yourself. Don't just complain to the council and then they won't do anything. Now, make fucking waves. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I will not make any friends doing this, except people on my side of the fence. People who fucking hate bureaucracy and the rest of it. The council won't like me. Michael Tobin will end up not liking me. The workers will love me. We have a chat most morning. Well, Sarah has a chat. I just fucking stand there looking grumpy.
Of course she does.
Of course she does, yeah. But, if you want shit doing, do shit. Don't just fucking say, oh, nothing can be done and wait for other people to do it. George Bernard Shaw says, progress depends upon the unreasonable man, because the reasonable man will realise that reality doesn't conform to his expectations and accept it. The unreasonable man will demand it changes.
Sometimes you just have to embrace your inner Karen.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong. I'm not emotionally invested in this to the extent where I will do anything to get what I want because I don't control the results. Ultimately, they'll either fix the road or they won't. And if worse comes to worst, I'll just go down to the local hardware store, get some bags of concrete, and fill in the fucking potholes myself. You know, it's not a big deal. Or I'll pay my €1,000 because there's three of us who've got an interest in this. Because there's a guy who owns the house, the guy who owns the land, and me, and maybe even the farmers who work the land. So maybe four. So maybe €750. I don't know. But the point is, I'd take actions I can take to achieve an outcome. And if I don't achieve the outcome that way, I should take other actions, which I control, fill in the potholes myself. I'm not basing my future happiness and mental well-being on this road being fixed. But equally, I'm not just going to sit there and say, well, let's do nothing. Because some people mistakenly believe, and I've seen a feminist writer going about how Stoicism is just supports the patriarchy because it's about doing nothing. No, it isn't. It's actually letting go of the outcome. Doesn't mean to say you should let things just happen and deal with injustice. And this is actually a form of injustice when you think about it. You know, we don't just accept these things. We do what we can, but we also recognise that we might not get the result we want, and we're okay with that.
I have to say, it's easy. It's easy to understand why people believe Stoicism is about doing nothing. And it's often people who haven't read enough. They've read just enough to feel like they're entitled to an opinion, but they haven't read enough to fully understand what it's all about. What's the actual wording around that? A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. That's it. So that's exactly what's happened there. Because and I'm sure you've seen it with other people. You introduce them to it, and all of a sudden they're like, I don't give a shit. Don't do much. That's what they believe it's all about. And it's like, you've missed the fucking point. Yeah, you've missed the point.
Well, really, if I could sum it up in this context, it would be letting go of outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
If you base your happiness and you predicate your well-being and sense of worth and self-esteem and all those things on getting the result you want, you at some point in your life are going to be fucking miserable.
Yeah.
I was talking to the guy, one of my clients, a couple of weeks ago, and he said he wanted to be recognised as the best in the world at what he did. And I say, there's a problem there. What will you do if you're not? And what if you are the best in the world, but you're not recognised as such? What will you do then? And he thought about it. He says, yeah, you're right. This is about ego, isn't it? I says, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
My view on things is to be the best at something I can be, measuring myself against myself, not other people. Because if you start measuring yourself against other people, and I won't be happy until I'm the best, I mean, you're going to be miserable at some point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was rereading Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, and it was only on I don't know how many times reading through it now, but reading it recently, it just hit me how much gratitude is in there as well. But there's no resting on your laurels. It's like, I'm grateful for what I have, but it will be better because I will be better.
Yeah. I see all the time. I mean, I don't go on LinkedIn. I mean, my spies, my little EBGX send me screenshots, and some of it's fucking pitiful. It's getting worse, you know.
I've got my account out today, so I'm sure I'll.
Oh man, I log in from time to time to look at my messages. I get messages, and Holly's sometimes a bit slow with them. But other than that, I also log in to check out the paid advertising platform. And you can't go straight in, you have to go through your account, and you can't help but see the newsfeed. And it's like watching a train crash. There's no way you can look away from a train crash or a road accident. There's just no fucking way. You know, I'm watching this. It's horrible, but I'm still watching it. Well, my newsfeed is like that, and it's getting worse. And I suspect it's because, well, I know it's not suspicion at all. It's just human psychology. People, they get dopamine hit from posting on LinkedIn and engaging and being involved. Well, dopamine is like anything else. You need a bigger hit time after time after time after time, like alcohol or drugs. It's an addiction. So when the general feeling is kind of fucking this miasma of despair and fucking misery, well, it gets to a point when it's not enough. You've got to be more miserable now. So now we're seeing people posting. That fucking bloke a few weeks ago, he was in tears because he'd fired some people. I'm not saying he's a narcissist. I'm not qualified to diagnose, but that behaviour was narcissistic in the extreme. It was all about him and how he felt and how miserable he was. And the two poor bastards who lost their jobs. And it was all down to shitty fucking business decisions he'd made.
Yeah. And what was his excuse? He wanted to destigmatize CEOs crying or something like that. It's like, it was a real. It was a real case of champagne problems. That was actually.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I mean,
how fucking tone deaf is that? How fucking tone deaf?
Don't rape me in the arse and then tell me I wanted it, please. You know, for fuck's sake. I mean, crocodile tears have nothing on this guy.
It's like the Queen. Imagine the Queen coming out and saying, "Oh, I'm really sad and I'm crying because I had to get rid of some of my staff."
Yeah, can you imagine? Oh, fuck off, Mom.
Yeah, he'd be like, Liz, come on.
Liz, yeah, come on, Liz.
I've got a conspiracy theory here with Liz as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's comatose. I think she's either dead or comatose.
I don't think she's dead. Why would they hide her death? Because you think about it this way, right now...
I agree with that, but I reckon she's fucked.
Quite possibly. I mean, the UK is in a right fucking state at the minute. I mean, most of the world is, but the UK, you know, Boris Johnson's resigned. Has he been replaced yet? I don't keep up with these.
No,
have you got a prime minister?
There's going to be one of those. It's not an election for the people, which is just fucked.
Yeah, it's a leadership
Tory election. Yeah, and it's going to be between Liz Truss. And if anyone doesn't know who she is, it can be summed up very nicely if you Google Liz Truss and pork markets. She is just a buffoon. And then Rishi Sunak, who is I wouldn't be surprised if he was a billionaire. I wouldn't be surprised. And he does everything he can to hide his wealth and to look like one of the people. And he only came to prominence because he was the Chancellor of the Exchange or whatever. Yeah, Exchequer through COVID. So he was the one handing out furlough left and right. So he's more liked. Yeah,
I despise them. Well, politicians. I mean, I can't remember. It might have been Robert Heinlein, the science fiction writer. I can't remember who it was, but basically, the premise is the last people we should elect into power are the ones who seek it. It should be a job that you are forced into at gunpoint and you really don't want it, and they'll say to you, you're going to stay there until you do a good job of it. So if you're lucky, you'll be out in 12 months if you do a great job. If you don't, you're just going to stay. So you can't fuck up your way out of it.
Yeah.
You know? And you don't want the job, and they make you do it. It's part of your fucking social fucking contract. You know?
They can make you do fucking jury.
Yeah, people who want to be in charge of others, there's something seriously fucking wrong with them. We should not trust them. But of course, it plays into the popular vote. You know, the Karens of the world. There's that fucking athlete the other day, right? She did a fucking shitty performance because she's on a period, and it's like the third or fourth time on the trot. Okay, I get it. It sucks. I know it does. But what she said was, people need to do more research about this. If it was a man's problem, there'd be loads of research on it. Excuse me, love, why don't you fucking quit your stupid running around the track job and go to university and fucking study it yourself instead of telling other people what they should do to solve your fucking problem? Stupid cunt. Honestly, it's just my fucking nutting.
I can't remember where we started with this.
You having a shit, basically. The premise is taking responsibility and control.
Yes.
Writing this month's newsletter going out a week on Wednesday, 2 weeks today. No, it's a week today it goes out.
Yeah, it is. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, cunt. And
fuck off, cunt.
And I've got a thing I call the blame equation. And the blame equation is very simple. It's choices plus actions equals consequences. And people don't want to take responsibility or suffer. Or they don't want to suffer the consequences or take responsibility for them. So what they do is they devolve control and responsibility into someone else. They say, I want something doing, and say, you there with the guns, Mr. Government, I want you to do something about this problem. for me. Like, it does my head in. It really does. And monkeypox is another one, right? There's some fucking LGB, RACAA, Alcoholics Anonymous fucking group or whatever it is, going on about the government should do something about monkeypox. Well, what do they want the government to do about it? How about you stop sticking your fucking tongue in other guys' ring pieces for a while? Just they're not telling you to stop forever. It's not a moral thing. I'm not being prudish here, but if you don't want to catch horrible fucking diseases, don't do horrible things to catch them. It's personal responsibility. It's not up to the government to tell you how to have safe fucking butt sex, is it? Really? Come on. It's just not. But the government should do something about this. Well, what do you want them to do? Knock on your bedroom door and fucking check you for monkeypox before you fucking go down on someone. Fuck off.
Is that how it's being? Is that the main transmission?
It can be transmitted between any people by bodily fluids and close contact. But statistically, it's more likely, it seems to be happening most often between homosexual and bisexual men. That's just it. It's not like AIDS in the same way. I mean, anyone can catch AIDS from anyone if they do the wrong or right things, I suppose. But it was just primarily between gay men at first.
So fecal matter is rather potent.
I don't know if it's fecal matter or the juices they're around. I don't know. I don't give a shit, really. I don't care. I mean, people's fucking sexual behaviour, as long as it's consensual, is none of my business. But demanding that other people do something about their sexual behaviour, well, it's fucking easy. Just don't do it anymore for a little while, until the monkeypox has gone away.
Put on the Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can get it from snogging as well and shit.
Oh, really?
But I get it. They might have to curb their promiscuity for a little while, but hey, big deal. But asking the government to do something about it for you, for fuck's sake, what is wrong with these people? Honestly.
And
it's like fat people. Fat people. And an epidemic of fat people. I was in Manchester last week, right? I go through the airport, and then I went to fucking Goole. The world is fatter than it was before COVID. And people are saying that
it's true on both ends as well. I think it's extreme on both ends.
Well, people are saying the government should do something about fat people. No. Fat people should do something about fat people. You know what they should do? A very simple exercise. Any fat person can fucking carry out to stop getting fatter and indeed lose weight. You know what it is? It's like, watch. Right. No, thank you. I don't want any more food. I'm fat enough as it is. That's all you got to do, fatties. You did that often enough. You won't be fat anymore. Fucking tubby bastard.
And do you know what government do? Because they have tried to fight this problem, especially in England.
The size of portions and shit.
No. They added a 10%. They did this recently.
Oh, tax,
or 10 or 20% sugar tax.
Oh, fuck's sake!
Which is ridiculous. So now, when you go to if you go to like a drive-through or something, and you say, "Oh, I want a full-fat Coca-Cola," they go, "Oh, we're going to have to charge you a little bit more for that." And you just see it on the electronic board, Coca-Cola, sugar tax, 10%. It's just like, for fuck's sake.
In America,
they get upset. Sorry, John. They get really upset because they're like, "Oh, we're being punished for being fat. This is a fat tax." And it's like, that's the fucking point.
It won't stop anyone. It's like they used to, well, they still do, I guess. They always disproportionately increase the tax on cigarettes and alcohol. It doesn't stop people smoking and drinking. Just means they pay more for it.
Yeah.
No, it never has. I mean, since I was a kid, it's just never happened. In the States, didn't they limit the size of various sodas in like New York and places by law? It didn't stop anyone. They just bought 2 instead of 1. I mean, how stupid is this? How stupid? This is why I hate government. It just doesn't work. No, this is the same as this fucking road thing, malarkey. It's just incompetent, bungling asshats playing with my fucking money. Wasting my fucking money to do stupid fucking things. For people who should just take responsibility for their own being fat. Honestly.
Did you hear about, in India, I believe it was, the cobra hunts that the government introduced?
No.
So essentially, India had a massive fucking cobra problem. Massive. It was ridiculous. So they introduced like cobra hunts. If you bring X amount of cobras to the cobra huts, we'll pay you for dead cobras. So of course, people went out and started killing cobras until there was no issue anymore. Then they realised, fuck me, we ain't done any work. And we've had all this money just from killing cobras and there's no more cobras. So these cobra hunters clubbed their money together and invested in cobra farms.
I was going to say, I bet they started farming fucking cobras, didn't they?
Yeah, they never fixed the issue. In fact, it's worse than it was before.
But how could you not see that was going to happen? Seriously.
Because,
I knew what was coming.
The government, they saw what happened. So do you know what they did? They said, oh, we're not doing it anymore then. And the cobra hunters went, now cobra farmers went, well, we don't need these cobras.
This cobra problem.
We're not going to kill them. Fuck off and just release them.
Yeah, so now they're back where they've spent a load of money. The farmers have got no food because they haven't bothered growing any food, and they've still got fucking cobras. Honestly, people, human beings, are the stupidest fucking thing. I mean, people think my dog's stupid. No. Government fucking pisses all over my dog for stupidity. Now, here's the thing. That's a classic example of how complex adaptive systems work. They try to force change from the top down. Right, and the individual behaviour of the human beings involved completely fuck all that up. Because they say, oh, no, let's breed fucking cobras, they're worth money, these are. And that's what they did. I knew that was going to happen. The moment you started telling me, I thought, I know where this is going. I know what happens next. And I promise I've not heard about this. Not even subliminally, because I just don't fucking pay any attention to the news. But I knew, I know what happens next because this is what people do. This is worth money, this is. Like the war on drugs. How long have they been talking about the war on drugs? Well, when I was a kid of 16 and first started smoking cannabis, even though it was a big deal. You would go to fucking detention centre for it, even a small amount. Now it's been decriminalised largely. No one gives a shit. Well, no one really gave a shit back then either. But the thing is, the war on drugs has been comprehensively lost. And it always will, because people want to take recreational drugs. They will risk death in places like Singapore and China and Saudi Arabia and still take them. Like, how long has prostitution been a thing? Probably as long as, right back to when cave women would swap a haunch of beef for a shag. Probably goes back as long as we've been human. We've been selling sex for money or barter. Well, to make that illegal, it's failed. It's illegal over here in Ireland, but there's a website, escorts-island.com, full of fucking escorts who are selling, well, actually they're selling companionship, but companionship. Anything that happens between the participants is consensual and between them and is not for money. Yeah, right, cool. Got ya. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And and don't ask me how I know about this website either.
Well, your friend told you, obviously.
My friend, I have a friend. No, actually, I make no secret about this. When we've got our business where we want it to be in terms of size and smoothness of operation, I want to start looking at sex workers. We've got the well-fed freelancer. I'm going to write the well-fed sex worker because they perform a socially more important job than politicians, any amount of fucking clergymen, and LinkedIn influencers or social media influencers. They are far more productive members of society, and they get a raw deal. Even their clients often look down on them, I think.
Yeah, well, I think that's part
of it. Think about it, everyone that is selling their labour. Well, the only difference between an escort or a sex worker and anyone else selling their labour, whether it's us writing shit or teaching shit or someone digging a ditch, is the fact there's sex involved. So how does that suddenly make a big difference? Who invented this fucking morality around sex? I'll tell you who. Fucking clergymen. They're the same people who fuck little boys behind the altar and cover up for each other. The same fucking people, right? Who have bishops saying, well, we can't blame the priests necessarily because some of these 8-year-old girls can be quite alluring. I mean, what the fuck did you just say? Hello?
I remember when you sent me that article.
Fucking hell, man. You've just told me that little girls take part of the blame for being abused because they're sexy, and you can't see a problem in yourself in saying that? I mean, what? And then people still go to fucking church. Oh my! Anyone? Here's a statement for you. This will piss off a lot of people. If you are going, if you are a mainstream Catholic or Protestant, and you are going to church to support an institution which has been proven, they both have proven, to hide the activities of paedophiles, you are a fucking enabler. Regardless of your religious beliefs, if you are attending the church and supporting the church, you are a fucking enabler. You are enabling and supporting paedophilia. Get that, pedo. True, innit? Fucking hell, I hate human beings. Hey, John, why do you live on a farm in the middle of nowhere in Ireland? I think this entire podcast episode has just told you.
Yeah, it's been quite ranty. We haven't talked about any things that we really wanted to talk about, but I suppose it's a good way to come back.
Hey, maybe I wanted to rant.
Maybe you did. This isn't a podcast for the people anymore. This is a therapy session.
Well, we haven't done one for probably 3 or 4 weeks, possibly 5 weeks.
Longer, 5, over a month, because we met up in Cork, and that
We did.
we was meant to record then, and we didn't because we like eating and drinking. And then I went away, and then you was doing some cold consulting, and here we are.
Yeah, we should never be allowed to do these things, I think.
No, but hey, we do it for the people on our lovely membership site. Talking of which, now I'm back. I'm going to kick these 2 autistic, socially inept cunts in gear, and we're actually going to start something called Conversation on there.
All right. That's great.
I even built a spreadsheet to ensure that we're all doing our bit, didn't I, John? And you was very happy about that.
You and your fucking spreadsheets.
Hey, you love a spreadsheet. It's the reason I built it on a fucking spreadsheet. I was like, it's the one thing, like, I've tried hundreds of software to try and get John to realise the shit he needs to do. I was like, this cunt loves a spreadsheet. I'm going to give it to him in a spreadsheet.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, we have tried probably at least half a dozen, maybe more, different scheduling tools,
Systems.
project management systems, things like Monday, which was, well, I can't remember what it was now.
What do you mean?
Asana.
What was it?
It's called it's Monday.com, but it's
Monday.com, yeah.
Yeah, Monday.com, Asana, Todoist, Basecamp. We've tried all sorts, and none of them worked for me. So now we're using the fucking simple spreadsheet. Even do we still use that? Do you still use fucking Airtable?
No, we've moved everything from Airtable over. It was just like it dawned on me. Holly likes Airtable because it's got some pastel colours on, but we don't use it like a proper database. Like It's a database software, but we was limiting ourselves because we was trying to use it like a spreadsheet. And I was like, "Come on, like,
let's just use a spreadsheet."
On. Yeah, and then it's all in one place. Moving to Google and just throwing ourselves into Google has been a fantastic shout. And this is kind of a side note. It brings in natural limitations, which then forces you to come up with solutions. So, for example, in Google Tasks, which we use to assign odd jobs here and there, you can't assign subtasks, which we've been able to do on every other to-do system that we've ever used. And I was like, oh, this is going to be an issue. Oh, my God. And then I thought, no, it's not. John fucking hates to-do lists. He fucking hates them. So just giving them a short, concise one. And he can figure out the subtasks himself. He doesn't need it painted out for him. He's not a fucking idiot. Just give him the headline. He'll sort the rest out. But it was just it was an actual constraint, and the solution was, well, don't fucking worry about it.
Yeah, I've gone despair at times at my inability to use these fucking scheduling softwares. Every single one of which claims to be the last word in fucking project management. I've always been the same. I mean, I know what it is now. I mean, since my diagnosis, it's executive dysfunction. And there's no cure for it, and there's no amount of mindset or fucking anything is going to fix it. Just have to get on with it. Yeah. Maybe the government should do something about it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. They should do big funded studies
Oh, fuck's sake.
to
Honestly,
sort out come up with some
I
drugs
think
for you.
what we've just had is 5 weeks worth of rants. They've been building up and building up and building up.
Yeah, we've hit a real peak. Now we're at a real lull now, just emotionally drained.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's all been, I mean, there have been rants, but they have been pertinent, mostly about, and it's obvious why. I'm writing this month's newsletter. It's really about personal responsibility. And the reason for that is, and I figured this out this morning, I think. The economy, the world economy, is in a fucking terrible state, and it's getting worse. We've got this massive recession coming. I mean, what's
Yeah.
inflation at the moment? About 10%.
18.
Fucking hell. Anyway, so it's fucking dire. I mean, it's potentially catastrophic. But I think what it is, because it's not as bad as COVID, people are ignoring it. People are thinking sense of relief that things are getting back to normal, but they're not. I wouldn't say we've jumped out of the frying pan into the fire. We've almost like, it's a little bit like we've been diagnosed with this awful disease, and we think, "Phew, thank God for that. We're having treatment now," not realizing the treatment is really fucking painful. We are coming in for some serious fucking bad times. I suspect, I can't remember the guy's name, but you know the quote, and it applies to women too, but it's a direct quote, so I'm not going to mangle it by turning it to being into something that's politically correct, about hard times make strong men make good times make weak men make hard times. We're in a weak man hard times cycle at the moment, but we're in that part of the cycle. And of course, it does apply to women too. So, stick your fucking feminism in your hole. I don't give a shit. It's a direct quote, so don't shoot the messenger. But we're in a weak men hard times at the moment. And we're just coming into the hard times. And what will emerge, and it's cyclical, what will emerge is strong men. Now, we have strong men like you and me and the guys who work with us going into this right now. They are the men who will carry us through. Just like they did going into COVID. Remember, we doubled the business in a couple of 3 weeks because we took a leadership role. And here's a message for everyone here, okay? No matter what you do or what you think or what you believe or want to happen, we're in for some shit times. And how you weather this coming storm will largely depend on your attitude to it. You have a choice. You can't choose to avoid it. There's no opt-out clause here. There's no other planet. There is no plan B. You're in it. And how you weather the storm will determine how you're at the end of it. Now, here's something else. It's unlikely you are going to grow your business massively in the next probably 2 or 3 years because of the recession. What you will do, though, if you market yourself, is you'll consolidate your position. You'll perhaps remain steady, maybe grow a little bit, but you will consolidate your position. So when things do start to get better, and they will because they always do, then you will be streets ahead. Now, statistically, we know from history, businesses which market themselves and consolidate their position during recession are always the ones that thrive, almost like taking the lid off a fucking bottle of lemonade. You open the lemonade and it goes... Well, that's what businesses that have consolidated their position and fixed, really fucking worked hard during recession do. They don't make much progress necessarily in recession, but afterwards, they are the ones that accelerate and leave all the rest behind. They languish, sometimes fail. So, don't join us with the thought, oh, I'm going to grow my business massively. You might do. I guarantee you'll have massive improvements, but it's still going to be tough. The real rewards will come in maybe 18 months to 2 years when things get better. And of course, you will weather the storm more happily.
Yeah, somewhere to turn to when you feel a little bit stressed, not sure what to do, is invaluable. It is completely invaluable.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can't, if you're in a shitty situation, we can't change that overnight. But there's 2 things we can do. We can show you how to deal with it better, and we can also help you change your direction overnight.
Yeah.
Now, you don't lose 20 stone of flab overnight, do you? But what you can do immediately is change your eating habits, change your exercise habits, and create a plan.
And on that
note, I'm going to go and take the Land Rover up that lane and take some photographs. I've got a media campaign to plan.
And on that note, I'm cleaning my office because
your girlfriend's away and she's let you do it. How long is she away for?
No, she she's on holiday, so she's helping me do it because there's her shit in here too.
Oh, I thought you meant she was gone. When you said she was on holiday, I thought you meant she'd gone away somewhere without you.
No, she's off work, so
Your voice, no.
she's been away loads recently. She went to Bristol, then she went away on a
Right,
yoga retreat. Yeah, I've had
it's great. Sarah sometimes goes over to the UK and doing business and seeing family and things. Sometimes you have to
so
ask
much
her.
work done.
She was away for 3 weeks. It was fucking heavenly. Will you be right? Me not here? Well, I think I'll survive. Yes.
And it's God, she asks me, bless her, because she loves me. How can you not? Like, what have you been up to? No, I'd be like, you've been gone like 3 days, and the 3 days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What do you think I've done?
Are you all right?
I've done nothing.
Did you manage without me? Oh no.
Oh.
I think the government should do something.
John,
Yes.
what should people go and do at the end of this episode?
Probably wipe the spittle off their chin when they've been laughing. What should they do? They should, if you haven't got the book, go to wellfedfreelancer.com and buy the fucking thing. It's £5 and you get a shitload of bonuses. And you get double your money back and a free pizza if you don't like it. That's the first thing. If you have it already, log into the fucking Inner Circle and use the platform because there's loads of shit in there. And then join us in silver because, pertinent to what we were saying about how shitty things are, this week's training, a week today, probably about 2 days after they're going to get this and when this goes live, on Wednesday the 31st, I'm doing a training. 7 ways to sell at higher prices than your competitors without losing business, except the business you want to lose, because dealing with those people is worse than scrubbing your bell end with a wire brush. All right? Raising your prices is the quickest, easiest, most foolproof way to make more money. People don't seem to understand that your prices basically determine your margins, and your profit is solely reliant on your margins. A 10% price cut on a 35% margin gives you a 37% reduction in your profits. It's as simple as that. It's vastly disproportional. And by the same token, increasing your prices on the same margin or with the same margin gives you a 37% increase in your profits. I can prove it. I do prove it. People still don't listen. And on that note,
we'll go. Before that, and if you bought the fucking book, you've got EBG Scary Profit Calculator anyway. So if you don't believe us, go use the fucking calculator.
I don't think they have. We need to put. I don't think we have. We'll put it in the. We'll put it up in the area today.
They have it. It's in there. I looked. I was sorting it all out this morning. It was in there.
Are you sure?
So,
where?
So in the Well-Fed Business, the Well-Fed Freelancer book, I duplicated that to make the Well-Fed Business book course, and therefore I had to add all the lessons and everything over. So I had it open on 2 tabs, and in the Well-Fed Freelancer book was EBG Scary Profit Calculator, and I also thought, I didn't think that was in there. And I went in there, and it was a Google Drive link, and it's there.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, there's no excuses then, is there?
I can take it down if you like.
No. Maybe I should put it. We'll make it a bit more obvious, but yeah, cool.
We need to do that in general, and this is like a sneak peek behind the scenes for everyone in bronze, but we need to do that in general. We need to make a big deal out of each individual bonus, make a blog post out of them, talk about them, post about them.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, if you are not buying the book, if you are then bought the book and you're not reading it and implementing it, and then you're not reading and implementing it and using the Inner Circle, your free membership, I don't know what to say to you. We are some of the best guys in the business at this. I just did a day's consulting. How much I charge for that? £12,500 for the day, and I get paid that too. And you're getting you're not getting the same experience. You're not getting my sole attention, but you're getting access to me and my brain. And when people have paid me and the people are treating me with a bit of respect, I go out of my way. I bend over backwards to help you. Okay. But I'm not driving the bus. I'm not chasing you for this shit. If you're not using me and your access to me to the fullest extent, you're a fucking idiot. You really are. Anyway, crack on.
Up to us, and now I'm back to be on the membership site, giving them a reason to go there, and we've got a ton of shit lined up. So that's all fun and exciting. But in the meantime, stay safe, wash your hands, watch out for a recession that's coming to kick your ass, and Don't eat ass because you might get monkeypox.
Right.
Ta-ta.